let's hear some more about mothers.
Okay. Now, as I said, my mother was large and affectionate, just a warm body, and jolly. And my brother Larry and I missed her because our dad's side of the family, and her side was way down in Iowa, and we were up in North Dakota with dad's side of the family. They loved us all to pieces, but they were the reticent Danes who didn't show anger or love. They kept it all inside. Either their hearts were overflowing with love or they were smoldering with resentment. But it didn't come out except in sideways ways. Well, Larry and I found in the winter a substitute for our mother's embrace. We had to do the embracing, but the effect was wonderful. We went into our kitchen where the furnace had this chimney going up through the kitchen, so 3 sides of it stuck out from the wall, and it was painted white enamel, very smooth and shiny, and it was warm. So we would both stand there with our arms around this chimney, calling it our fat mama, and we would just put our cheeks against it and close our eyes and remember how good it felt to be hugged. Then when the weather warmed up and the furnace was turned off, then we had to find other ways to fill that yearning. For me it was food. And my Danish aunts, this is how they showed love. Eat this, eat more, eat more, eat more. And I grew very chubby. By the end of 5th grade, I was the chubbiest girl in my class. That's fortunately when my dad remarried and I didn't have to overeat anymore. I didn't need to hug the furnace, the chimney either. Now, I could tell you about my second mother. When I started 5th grade, we had a new music teacher, Miss Halverson. Young, beautiful, brown hair, brown eyes, and a lovely smile. It's just weird when I think back now. I was always volunteering when she asked, what does this music, close your eyes, what does this music make you think of? And it was always to me jungles and parrots and things like that. And she remembered, she used to tell people that she liked to call on me because I had such an imagination. But I really enjoyed her music classes. She was also the organist at our Lutheran church where my dad was a deacon. Can you see where this is going? It was the tradition of parents to have the teachers of their children over for a meal during the school year. And Dad invited Miss Halverson and my 5th grade teacher, who was Miss Halverson's roommate, over for a steak supper. This is before Christmas. And some spark either ignited there or started to flame up. Because there were other sparks at the church, I am sure, Saturday nights when in the winter Miss Halverson would go over and practice the organ for the next morning's service, and my dad would go over to stoke the furnace so it would be nice and warm. And I can imagine him, I don't know if this ever happened though, kissing her over the heat register on the way up to the altar. But in any case, it was a short courtship from December till June, and when they got married. And during those 3.5 years with no mother, I remember listening to my little playmates criticizing their mothers for being so stupid and so mean and so stingy and not letting them do this or that or the other thing. And they just, it was like they were in competition to whose mother was more like a witch. And it squeezed my heart. So here, June 8th, 1948, my dad married Miss Halverson. I couldn't call her Miss Halverson anymore, and I couldn't call her by her first name, which, by the way, was the same as mine, Virginia. I mean, how cool is that? So I didn't call her anything, but she remembers that I would be out playing and I would come in about once an hour just to make sure she was still there. And I came in this one time and I didn't see her. So I looked around, I didn't see her in the kitchen, in the dining room, the living room. So I cleared my throat and I said, it was hard for me because it just, that word had such import. Mother. No. No answer. Mother. Mother! And then I heard a voice from the back bedroom. Yes? So that was the icebreaker. And then she tells that I made sure to work in the word mother in every other sentence for about a week until I got used to it. And then it was easy. It could just roll off my tongue. That's the end of that story.
I actually am interested in how your devotion to her carried on then till the end of her life recently. In in the last few years of her life, for example, how you...
Yes, she developed Alzheimer's just like her mother and her older sister. It was very predictable the way she would regress into ever more sweetness. But then I remember when she started getting the past mixed up with the future or with imagination. And I brought her down here for the last 10 years of her life, age 80 through age 90. And so we spent a lot of time together. And at first when she was still quite verbal, but the time sequences were inaccurate and she didn't always know what was truth and what was fiction. Didn't matter. What mattered is what she said. She said, I don't know if I've ever told you this, Jenny, but your first mother and I were really great friends. We liked each other very much. We didn't get together very often, but we did as often as we could. And if she could see you now, she would be so proud of you. Is there more?
I'm interested too in the ways you took care of her after, when you were in third grade, she came into your life and started taking care of you, and then at the end you would go after she was in the home too.
Yes. She was in assisted living and then in memory care. But when she was in assisted living, I had to do a lot of assisting. And it was sometimes not very good because I became more the mother and she more the daughter. But I remember going over there to curl her hair with the curling iron or put it up in rollers a lot. And I say, oh, Mom, aren't you lucky that when you married Dad you got a daughter in the bargain? Because she also got in the bargain my brother Larry, and then they produced 3 more boys. So I ended up with 4 younger brothers and no sisters. And she'd just laugh and say yes. And then because we had the same name and our signatures were very similar, I took over the paying of all her bills. I still have her credit card with some money in the bank, just in case. But so for 10 years, I signed her credit card and paid all of her bills, not forging her name because it was the same.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.